was in that slip. Now that boat just pulled out, and they have a serious downwind, and they are moving. They are right out there. I want to see the route they're going to take. Just like in Colorado, whoever was over here, they put this fake owl on the end of this post. Try and keep people, or keep seagulls from getting in here. Look at that Delta plow. Anyway, I just want to see these guys. Let's see where they go through the deep spot. Let's see, the tide is a little bit lower than high tide, but it's still pretty high, like 5 feet. I think this might be the couple that left earlier. Right here coming back. Which I'm going to holler over to them if that's the case and find out how deep their keel is. Pulling way over to the far left over there. Because with all this bay, it's only deep enough to get through. Way the hell over there on the far left. They're really pulling in there. I'm a little bit farther to the right from the earlier video, and I actually walked out on this pier, or on this finger, so that I can take this. But, well, yeah, they're really pulling far into there. They're just starting to turn now. Gone too far. Looks like they're nope, there they go. Okay. Looked like their mast had stopped moving from this perspective. And they come out following that pier. That, by the way, that pier where those people are pulling out, the other side of it, on the other side of the pier, is where the Google barge was just a couple months ago. Now they're motoring out right along the edge of that pier. I just went over and talked to that guy on his way back in. I figured I'd go find out what his keel depth was, and you know, how close he came, because I videotaped him first. He was the first video. He said his keel's only 5.5 feet deep. So, but he said that at high tide, which, if you can see this over here, we're pretty close right now. Said at high tide I shouldn't have any problem, but I do want to stick to that left side. And then as the shoreline pulls in, I want to follow the shoreline a little bit and then pull a hard right and go out. Said I shouldn't have a recognition of a theme, simply because today's the last day in this marina. Exhaust is installed. Oil's changed, engine runs great, water pumps out the back. Beautiful, beautiful day out. There is no fog rolling in. Jerry got here late last night. His plane landed at like 12:15. After driving back from the airport, getting back to the marina, he sat and he wanted to talk for an hour, so I don't think I actually got to sleep till 3, and it's now 6:15, and I'm going to go over and talk to the new marina in a couple of hours. I'm going to look like I was out drinking last night. Anyway, I'm sure I'll have lots of video of us driving across the bay. We're heading right out into that. Have a good one. Fired up the boat. Drove it out just a little bit to the right of the end of that pier over there. Got through the low spot because it's currently pretty close to high tide. Yeah. We did drive it out, but unfortunately we didn't videotape it. I was so excited to get the boat out of the slip and actually be driving it across the bay that I completely spaced out the GoPro. And I only got about 5-10 minutes worth of video after we got back, and you know, it just wouldn't take video anymore, and I don't know what we got. I don't have time right now. I'm packing my stuff up. A little foggy out here. I'm going to try to make it to the western edge of Wyoming. All the sails from the boat are in the truck. I only counted 9 bags versus the 12, and I didn't see anything that said a spinnaker on it, but that doesn't mean that that isn't what's in one or two of those bags. I wasn't planning to fly a spinnaker, so if that's what we're missing, it's not that big a deal. With me, Jerry, and maybe one other person at the moment that we know of on the boat, when we actually sail somewhere, flying a spinnaker would be way too much hassle and work. So main and jib or genoa, we got lots of genoas. Anyway, this hose right here, let's see if I can see that, this was tapped into the top of the thermostat housing and then running back into the cap over here. We didn't realize it. I didn't realize it. It was, you know, I didn't know what in the world the contraption that was on there was, but it was completely wrong. So we made it halfway across the cove, and the boat started, you know, the thermostat opened up and this thing started pushing water back that way. And then there was a T that was coming up into the beer can. Well, the T into the beer can started overflowing antifreeze all over the place, and so we limped it back over here. It didn't overheat, but it, you know, this bay is legally very, very difficult to live aboard, and there must just be a ton of people trying to do it illegally, because they, you know, basically the thing that they said to me was, convince us that you're not going to live on board your boat. And this is Berkeley Marina, which is owned by the the city municipality of. So we're this is the side cover for the engine compartment. I'm hoping to just give you guys some light to see in there. It's just held in with this, but it actually does pretty well with the mattress holding it in place right down in there. I've been sleeping up in there because it stays a little darker a little longer instead of my head on this end. But basically, I told them, well, you could call my boss and he'll tell you that I need to be at work on Monday in Colorado, and it's a little hard for me to live here and work there. And Jerry was standing right next to me. Different Jerry with a J instead of my blind buddy with a G. He took me out there while we tried to avoid the harbor master here because he was living on board the boat illegally. Going up and out. Okay. You can keep doing whatever you're doing there.
Well, I want to find a knife and cut this hose.
Oh, I already did that. I already found the knife. I just didn't give it to you because you were busy doing something else.
Okay.
There you go. It's a little.
Yeah, I got it. I got it.
Oh, the lights in our compass work.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, they're dead compasses, but the lights work. See if this is cool.
Can I step over there and grab that cup? I want a sip of water.
Oh, you can. Yeah, you could actually, as long as you go around my knees here.
Okay.
And actually, here, Jerry, I can just hand you the cup.
All right on. There you go.
Short. Actually, at this point, not really need a clamp. Stay attached to that. Here's what I put together, Jerry, and I'm figuring you put the weighted end on the bottom so
Yeah.
that it stays in the bottle.
Okay, we're still missing a clamp, eh?
That's what I'm saying is, well, we probably have one out in that box.
Well, let me see how tightly this fits.
Here, I'll top that off in there. Okay, now let me grab that flashlight. Okay, you go that way.
I'm in here.
I just took Jerry to the airport. He is probably on the plane now, and I mean, it probably hasn't taken off quite yet, but I'm back at the boat. Unfortunately, my 32 gig SD card for the GoPro is full after I put a lot of video on it of the drive out here and a lot of video of us working on the boat. I got a pretty good video. I was trying to fold the sail, and the mainsail that's a little damaged in the wind. We're gonna try to make it into a backup sail and find a newer one. But we pulled it out of the slip. We drove it out to the end of the pier over at the end of the cove here, and it started pumping antifreeze all over the motor. There was steam everywhere. So we shut it down, and the wind blew us sideways, and I don't know for a fact. We kind of ended up in a non-sail heave-to situation where the boat was just kind of drifting sideways with a slight slick behind us, and the wind was blowing us out into the bay towards the shallow area. And it kind of seemed to me like we stopped moving and we're stuck in the mud. But once we got the engine cooled off a little bit and everything seemed okay, we fired it up and we drove pretty close to back to this marina, and then shut it off and dealt with it a little more effectively as we drifted back to where we just were. We talked to Berkeley, and Berkeley was a little bit of a stickler for the whole, oh, you're going to live on your boat, and I'm going to live in Colorado, but they were convinced I was going to live on my boat, so they wanted to charge me extra fees to keep an eye on me for the first month. And then when you start looking at their contracts, it's just an incredible pile of extra fees, an extra fee for this and a little extra fee for that. If you do this, they fine you this. If you do that, they fine you this. This marina that it's been at it's been $340 a month to keep it here, and they charge you a pittance for electricity, especially if you're never here. This place is good for now. We got a lease, we got a slip, the boat's secure. I also trust this marina. It's pretty good security. Not a lot of people trying to get in and out of here. Nobody's going to be messing with this boat. And I can be comfortable, go back to work, make some money. Trying to compensate for your reversals.
Yeah, well, you're the one that's dyslexic, not me here.
Yes, that's it.